and welcome to Your Stocks Weekend. I'm Vivek Loh.
And I'm Sonia Shenoy. Turned out to be quite a disappointing week for the market, down about 0.7% for the Sensex and the Nifty. But of course, the broader markets kept their head above water.
And the last 2 days were pretty okay.
Indeed, we'll be discussing all of the stocks that were buzzing in trade all of last week. Okay, these are all the top headlines on the show. Like we were telling you, the frontline indices ended the week down. The Nifty slipped about 0.5%, while the Sensex dipped down about 0.7%.
The broader market put up slightly better show. The CNX Mid-Cap Index and the Nifty Junior gained 1% each, while the BSE Small Cap Index closed the week flat.
And in sector-specific action, it was the BSE Realty Index that closed about 3% down. DLF shut shop down almost 6.5%, while Unitech closed flat.
BSE Oil and Gas also closed in the red, down 1.7%, dragged down by a 5% down move by Reliance Industries. Cairn, meanwhile, ended up 5.5% for the week.
Tata Steel, BPCL, Sterlite and ONGC were some of the major index gainers this week, while on the flip side, Sun Pharma, Idea and Maruti saw significant pressure in trade all of last week.
Outside the index, Indiabulls Finance, United Phosphorus and Indian Bank were the key mid-cap gainers. In the small-cap space, Chola DBS, Spice Mobiles and Digjam were the big stars.
Alright, those were the top headlines, and of course our guest for today will be SP Tulsian, who will aid us with all the fundamentals, and Sudarshan Sukhani will take us through the technicals on all of the stocks that we discuss in the next half hour.
And also on the show, we will discuss a whole host of stocks, including Bharti Airtel, SBI, Maruti, Hindustan Lever, Urvankara Projects and Indian Overseas Bank, among others. So, all right, let's get straight off started. We have Kaushik on the line from Kolkata. Kaushik, which stock have you invested in? What's your question for the experts today?
I am holding 150 shares of Bharti Airtel, purchased at the price of 283 rupees.
When did you buy these shares?
In mid-February.
In?
Mid-February.
Mid-February this year. Are you a short-term investor or a long-term investor?
Yeah, short-term.
Short-term. Short-term is how much? 1 month, 2 months?
Yeah, 2 to 3 months.
2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Tulsian, here's a short-term investor, 2 to 3 months on Bharti Airtel. What's your view of this company in this short a period of time?
See, in fact, Bharti is a stock for short-term view only, because if somebody really wants to take a long-term view, there has to be a negative or maybe the little, maybe the little pessimist view. But this is a fit stock for a, for a view of next couple of months, and in fact, the range in which it moves can be taken as 290 to 330. Because generally we see that whenever stock corrects to 290 levels, we see the renewed buying interest coming in. It goes up to 320, 325 where the profit booking comes in. And now since the stock is ruling at its lower band, it has been, ruling closer to about 300 rupees, and with the 3G auction process all on, and the company though have not pleased with the Q4 results, all these negatives have got largely factored into the stock. I don't see much downside from here. So in fact, this is a fit case for any trader to, enter into this stock. Those who are holding it can also remain invested. There is no point in selling. So take a view of 1 month, expect a price of 320 where it can be taken.
Okay, Mr. Tulsian, thanks for that view. Well, Kaushik, you heard the view coming in from Mr. Tulsian. It's a trading stock. You may want to continue to be in it. Let's also get Mr. Sudarshan Sukhani's view into this, who's on the technicals. Sudarshan, he's a short-term investor, as you heard. He is entered at 283 in mid-February. He wants to know for the next 2 or 3 months, is this a time where he should stay in the stock or get out of it?
Bharti Airtel is a sell. In my opinion, if you own Bharti Airtel and you are not a 5-year term investor, then you should get out of it. My own sense is that the stock is likely to drift much lower, and that applies to most of the telecom stocks. So I would say get out of it.
Okay, stay out of Bharti Airtel. That's the call coming in. Let's take in another query then. We have Gautam Kumar Das who joins in on the line from Kolkata. Hi, Mr. Das, what's your question?
Actually, I am holding 13 SBI shares at the cost of 1264.
Okay.
I want to know what's the immediate target of it so that I can get out of it. I'm looking for a target of 2400 within 15 days or 1 month time period.
All right, sitting in on a big profit at this point in time. 1264 is his acquisition price and 2300 is where the stock is currently sitting at. Mr. Tulsian, first to you, he's looking in at a 2400 price on SBI. You think that's something that we can see in some time to come, or you think it's prudent for him to book profits at this point?
Sonia, in fact, I see a level of maybe 2440, 2450 in next 15 to 20 days, because May series is likely to remain positive overall for the banking sector, in which SBI will definitely be taking a lead. So I think he is on the right path of taking, a view of 15 days or at least 2400. I don't think that he is expecting too much from here on. A rise of 100 rupees is very much feasible. In fact, even he can go to the extent of keeping a target of 2430, 2440 also.
Sudarshan, your thoughts on that quickly on State Bank of India?
State Bank of India is in an uptrend. I sense that it's certainly going to touch 2450 and probably cross it. But the gentleman needs to worry whether he should wait for a 100 rupee profit at the risk of sacrificing his 1200 rupee profit. For a short-term trader, it's certainly a buying opportunity at current levels.
All right, Gautam, that's the advice coming in from both of them. But as Mr. Sukhani very rightly said, that you've got to see that for this 100 rupee gain in 15 days, are you going to sacrifice the 1200 that you have? But overall, both the experts seem fairly bullish on this stock at this point of time. Let's go across now to Amit Desai on the line from Mumbai. Amit, what's the stock that you're holding? What's your question for the experts?
Yeah, I'm holding Maruti, 1,000 shares at 1423. See, basically, Maruti has been having a 3-month high of 1520 and 12-month high of 1740. It's presently quoting at P of 14.92. Compare that to with the other auto companies or Bajaj Auto, though not in the four-wheeler segment, is commanding a P of 23, and Tata Motors is commanding a P of 21.53. Today's price is 1279, and brokerages are giving a price call up to 1750, 1800. What should I do? Because I strongly feel Maruti has a commanding presence in the market, and I see no reason the Volkswagen Polos or i10s and i20s can displace the leadership and the reach of the cost effectiveness of a Maruti.
Okay, Amit, when you bought into Maruti, what was your time frame like? What was the kind of time horizon you were looking at? Are you a long-term investor, medium-term, or are you also looking at a 15-20 day kind of a window of the kind our previous two viewers had?
12 to 15 months.
12 to 15 months. And you've been holding it already for how long?
For about a month or so.
Oh, you bought in only about a month?
And a half. I don't remember exact, but month and a half.
But you have about 18 months horizon. Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Tulsian, what's your view?
See, Vivek, this gentleman has really done a good homework, but he has
I agree with you.
But he has gone on the historic earnings. If you take a call for FY11, Maruti should be able to post an EPS of 105, 110, and that translates into a P multiple of 12, 13. And similarly, Tata Motor can post an EPS of close to about 80, so that is ruling at a P multiple of 10. But let's not go into all these historics, because two-wheelers are all traditionally ruling at a higher P multiple. Yes, there has been some disappointment because of Q4 results on Maruti because of drop in their margins, not because of the drop in their absolute numbers. But at least in Maruti, I'm expecting the share to move to 1400, crossing 1400 in next maybe a month to month and a half. And my advice is that, to remain invested, at least he'll be able to see his cost in next 45 days.
Okay, that's the call coming in on Maruti. The viewer clearly concerned about the kind of market share scare and the dip in margins that they've seen, that Maruti has seen this time around. But hold on to it for the shorter term. That's the view coming in from Mr. Tulsian. Sudarshan, what's your view on Maruti for this time period that we're looking at?
See, in 2 years, so many things can happen. We are in a bull market, at least an uptrend. So if you're holding for 2 years, I think you'd make some money. But short term, Maruti seems to be breaking down, and my own sense is that we could see 1,000 rupees on it. But if you are waiting for 2 years, it should certainly do well.
Okay, hold on to Maruti then. That's the call coming in for at least a longer time frame. So we've discussed that query with you. We'll slip into a very short break, but when we come back, we have a whole host of your queries to deal with. So HUL and Puravankara projects are two stocks on our radar. We'll deal with both of them after the break.